Boris and the Rising Sun Hotel. The book was written by Terry R. Barca. It's copyright 2018. Boris and the Rising Sun Hotel audiobook is read by the author Terry R. Barca and is copyright 2018. Boris and the Rising Sun Hotel, written by Terry R. Barca, copyright 2018, published by Written with a Pencil. This is a work of fiction. Names, characters, businesses, places, events, and incidents are either the product of the author's imagination or used in a fictitious manner. Any resemblance to actual persons, living or dead, or actual events is purely coincidental. Other books by Terry R. Barca: Scoom, The Long Weekend, Passerby, Loyal and True, Trust, Slightly Spooky Stories, Red Wheelbarrow, Rufus, Keeper of Secrets, Bullet to the Heart, Sam Bennett's Case Files, ... No Through Road, The Road Leads Home, Slightly Spooky Stories 2. Dedication to Diane, who laughed in all the right places. Who is Boris? Boris lives in the Keeper of Secrets universe. Susan encounters him in the first book of the series, and in Secrets Kept we get to know a bit more about him. He is always there when Susan meets with Backdoor Barry, silently doing his job, sometimes lip-reading the mute old TV set, sometimes tending to his bartender duties, a quiet observer of everything that goes on at the Rising Sun Hotel. When I finished the second book in this series, I couldn't help wondering what was happening in Boris's life when we were not around. Has he been a part of Barry's adventures? Was he around when that chair acquired its famous bullet hole? Does he have a romantic interest? As you can see, these questions needed to be answered. Boris is more than just a bit player in Susan Smith's adventurous life. Boris has a life of his own. Boris. So let me get this straight. You didn't see anything? Two blokes with guns blazing, patrons scattering in all directions, enough blood on the floor to drown a small horse, and no bodies. Boris no see nothing. Presumably the bloke or blokes who were bleeding all over the place just walked out into the car park and drove themselves home. Maybe Uber picked them up. Boris doesn't know. Have you ever seen these two gunmen before? Plenty times. They in here a lot. But you don't know their names. No one tells Boris anything. Boris serves drinks, goes home, watches boring TV and sleeps. Detective Sergeant Dorsey Yules did not believe Boris, but he wasn't going to let it spoil his day. One or both of the disputing parties would turn up at the local emergency department or in a vacant block. Either way, the forensics team would come up with something, and then the fun part would begin. Taking statements at the Rising Sun Hotel was not part of the fun. Every local police officer knew this hotel and what went on here. Amazingly, considering the nefarious deeds that were performed here, there were fewer turnouts for drunks and disorderly than most hotels. Generally speaking, this establishment kept a low profile. Small-time misdeeds disrupted the smooth flowing of business as usual. A shooting was particularly rare. None of the old-timers could remember being called to the Rising Sun for any type of firearms incident. Did you have your eyes closed, or did you have a lampshade on your head while all this was going on? Boris dived under bar and stayed there until shooting stopped. How did you know when to come out? No more bangs. Detective Sergeant Dorsey Yules was correct in thinking that Boris was not telling the truth. Boris Vladimir Goodenough could trace his ancestry back to the Tsar who ruled Russia in the late 1500s. Boris had seen a lot in his 40-odd years of life, and two drunk Australians shooting it out over an affair of the heart was a minor occurrence. Boris had dodged many bullets and seen men die. He wasn't afraid of death, but
Sample complete. Ready to continue?